This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, they're listening to us. No public people here, right?
I don't think so.
Any additional agenda items? No? Okay. Is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
This is Marty. I also move we adopt the agenda.
This
All
is
in fa-
Elizabeth. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, sounds good. Financial review.
Wait, we gotta do minutes.
I move we
On the
approve the
minutes.
May 19th minutes. It's
Thank you,
Diane.
Marty.
This is Marty. I'll second it.
Is there any discussion about the minutes? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, now financial review, payment of bills. Is there a motion to pay the bills?
I'll move that we pay the bills for May of 2022. It's
Is there-
Marty.
Is there a second?
This is Elizabeth. I'll second. Oh, go ahead, Val.
It was Connie.
So who
Oh.
seconded?
I said it was Connie.
Okay. Any discussion?
I'll ask Michelle, the Michelle Morehouse question. Is there anything unusual in the bills?
Just that we paid for the windows. Finally. It's been a long wait.
Any other questions?
I don't have a question about that, but I think there were some people missing last month. I'm just trying, my computer's going slow, I think, because of the weather. So I'm just trying to get back to last month.
That might have been me.
The minutes are right
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Yeah, so I had Diane, Kristen, and Connie weren't here
Right.
last month. So I probably,
I was here last month.
who was?
I was, Diane.
Says you were absent last month.
I thought I had you as absent last month unless maybe you joined in and I didn't realize, or I don't know. But then I will have to change. We won't be able to approve the minutes unless we change them.
No, no, just go ahead and say I was absent.
I really think you
Doesn't
were.
matter. I think I sat in the living room, so it's okay.
But do we have then enough numbers to vote on them?
Yeah,
Well,
that makes
that's, yeah,
sense.
I'm gonna need to
Everybody
abstain on
here.
this.
We have Peter, Marty, Deb, Elizabeth, Vale, Jan.
You're right, I was not there on May 16th.
Right. Yep, so you have all the people that were there.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll just fill that in.
This is Kristen. I wasn't there either, so I need to
Correct.
abstain.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, we're back.
Yep.
So we voted to pay the bills, right? Yep.
No, we didn't vote to pay
We
them.
didn't vote. Is there any discussion on the bills?
Did somebody look through them?
Yeah, Peter and Kristen signed them.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, they all looked okay to me.
Good.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Thanks. Okay, Angela, it's your turn.
I'm
Library
sorry.
Director's report.
Before we go on, can I just ask one question? I'm sorry. If Diane wasn't there for the meeting last month, can she move to accept the minutes or no?
No,
No.
So we need somebody different to move to accept the minutes from last month.
I'll do it, Elizabeth.
Okay.
I move that we accept the minutes.
Thank you. I will try not to interrupt anymore.
Thank you. Thanks for bringing that up. Okay, Angela, Director's report.
okay, SCT has the new server in their office. We haven't paid for it yet because they can't schedule to come in and install it till July, so maybe we'll pay for it then. Then, STLS came back again the second time and only installed 2 computers that day. And then since then, they've been sick in the computer department and we haven't had anybody out and they keep postponing. And it had been 3 weeks of postponing. So I finally told Brian and they're coming tomorrow. So I just didn't want to do that, but I did. So they're coming to finish installing the computers, I hope. The building insurer Utica sent a inspector and he inspected the building. The carpets were cleaned on Sunday the 5th. I can still smell the clean sometimes. We had a table at the Arts Festival and that was a good success. The weather held up both days and, oh, but we were only there on Saturday. But literacy volunteers shared our area with us and they were there on Sunday. So, and it was just really fun.
Did the quilt get done?
Yeah, I mean, I have a bunch of pieces. I'm gonna do it again at the fair. So we'll have a lot of pieces. I can hang them up in the library.
Cool.
I was out for a few days. I was sick. We were talking about it before. I think I'm better. We've been having some issues outside the building at night. And I had Covert come over and pull up films and the one thing was little kids in the morning did it. And then like some kid went in Sarah and Melissa's office and tore it up at the end of the day on Saturday. It was really weird, but I think he was just bored silly. Then I can't remember which night, but it's all in my book, all in my diary. Somebody did spray paint out front on the stoop in 2 different places. And I reported different happenings to police. Somebody kicked in the back gate. I mean, it's just been a whirlwind, but I guess the full moon was last night, so maybe it'll be over. I'm hoping that the police know that we're having some issues. So hopefully no more on that later. So hopefully nothing else. Nothing happened last night, knock on wood. So
Have they been able to specifically ID anybody?
no,
Other
we
than
never can. I mean, we don't have a camera on the back alley where we've had some issues, and it happened twice and it hasn't happened in a week. But if it does happen again, I guess I'll just have to have Covert come over and put in another camera. But every time we do that, it's like $900. And we could be putting in cameras, you know, we could quadruple the amount of cameras. And I don't want to have to do that. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully it'll be over. Because usually these things happen and then they stop. And then we get the next thing happens, you know. So yeah, that's the excitement around here. Hopefully that's it.
Any other,
And then I'll just report, like we were talking about this before the meeting started, the Friends have made $2,900 already on just like 3 days of sales. And they have one more sale tomorrow morning. And so they're going to make more than $3,000 this year. It'll be great.
I'm just curious, what do they kind of usually make?
Well, we talked about it before. All these years, they would only make just over $2,000, and they had the sale go on much longer with more books, and they were all inside here, and it was cramped, and they had pricing on all the different books. And now just take them all outside, and have the donation jar, and they do really well with that. And I'm so glad they started doing that. It's so much easier.
Yeah.
And the best part is when that guy shows up and takes away all the.
Yes. And we
Yes.
got a guy who takes everything away at the end because I don't know what we do with
Really?
it otherwise. Yeah. He sells online and he has a warehouse set up over in Cuca Park somewhere. So
Cool.
They're doing a good job. Any other questions for Angela?
Nope.
Okay, Finance Committee.
none of the committees met.
Okay. None of the committees met, that's true. Old business. Outside trim painting and glass pane replacement update quotes.
Okay, so I finally got another company to come over, WBR. They're over on Clinton, just outside of town,
Mhm.
and they're a nice operation. They have a lot of what's the word? References. They have a lot of references. They've done a lot of places. Unfortunately, it was $12,000.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm gonna keep trying to get another couple quotes. So
How
that's
about,
where I'm at on that. Well, we definitely need it done. If it's not done till next spring, then it's not done till next spring. I'm not gonna be able to get anybody this year at this rate because they were like, we're not gonna be able to fit you in. And I'm like, you're $12,000. So,
How much were
okay,
you hoping it would be?
well, I did have originally the first guy was it wasn't the full price because he didn't have the insurance added on yet. And you guys said no, but I mean, I had to get more quotes anyways. Then it took me a full months and months to get a second quote. And what was that the question again? I'm sorry.
Oh, I was saying, how much were you
Oh,
hoping to get it done?
Okay, so he was only $3,000. Then two of the employees here have had a guy at their house. So they sent him over. And I was like, oh, this is great. And he's like, oh, I didn't understand. I thought it was an inside job. I've stopped doing outside jobs. But he gave me his ballpark and he said between 4 and 6. And that sounded, you know,
Yeah, that sounds reasonable. I think
Yeah.
12,000 is quite a bit for trim.
yeah. So let's see. And I'll try and make calls again, see if I can get somebody to come. I've called the other places, they don't call back. Yeah.
This is Kristen. Somebody's painting the house 2 up from us. I can try
Okay.
to see who it is.
Thank you, that'd be great.
It's a giant house, so I would assume they do outside painting.
Okay, good.
any more comments about the painting? How about in-person board meetings, Angela? Are we
Okay,
gonna be able to do that?
so Brian sent around that email. I hope you guys get a chance to look at it. It's all the information about meetings. You can continue to meet on Zoom. And we followed all the rules except for posting the audios of the meetings on our website. We have not done that. I have all the audios. Alex is slowly but surely downloading them or uploading them to YouTube, and we will have a link on our website when he gets them all on there. So we'll be following that rule. So we couldn't put it directly on our site. It's too much bits.
Size.
Yeah,
Right.
it's too big. So, but we can do it with the YouTube link. We already have many items on YouTube from the library, so it's just a matter of getting it done. It takes a while for it to upload. So that's why he's got about half of it done.
So Angela, I have a question. I read that document that you sent that was from like the Southern Tier Library or somebody's advice.
That
And
was,
what it said was
Brian.
that you could meet in person, but if
oh
you.
yeah, we could meet in person. He said most
No.
libraries are meeting in person.
But if someone chose not to come, then the way I read that, they couldn't vote and be counted. And that
Oh,
didn't
really?
make
I
sense.
didn't read it that close. I just
Right.
knew you could
Well,
Marty, did you
hybrid
read
and,
that?
Well, wait, guys, wait, what it said was you could do hybrid, but if you did hybrid to vote and have the vote count,
Mhm.
you needed to advertise where you would need to put your home address on it and invite people into your home.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah,
were
right.
willing to do that, then you could still be a board member, you could still participate, but you couldn't vote. And you wouldn't count
Yeah,
towards the quorum.
And
Yeah.
that part really said to me, then how's that ever gonna work, really? We're not a
Unless
big enough
Onerous.
board.
Unless
Right.
you're willing to say, this is the address I'm attending the board meeting from, and anyone who wants to attend with me is more than welcome to come into my house and sit with me.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, right.
Sign right up for that.
Yep, we'll do that.
Well, that's what it said.
I read it twice. I thought, well, you must have misunderstood. And I'm like, I don't think so.
Nope, you didn't.
I think that's crazy.
Yeah. So he said most of the libraries that he asked were meeting in person.
Could you vote in that hybrid if you advertised that people could come into your home or not?
Yes, you could vote.
You could vote then. Okay.
Come into your home.
So
Yeah.
that board member then just wouldn't be part of the quorum.
No, if you're invited people into your home, as I read it, if you said, the meeting is 6 people are going to be at the library, 3 are going to be home, here are their addresses, and anyone from the public's more than welcome to attend from their home. That person counts toward the quorum, that person can vote. If you don't want to come in and you don't want to give your address and don't want somebody to come into your home, you can still be a board member, but you can't count toward the quorum and you can't vote.
Yeah.
And that's to me very odd.
Yes, it is very odd. Because you'd
I
be
mean-
better off stepping down and having someone who could participate somehow fill your seat,
Right.
is my opinion.
Well, we're following the rules for the Zoom meetings, the 4 rules. Well, almost,
We will
we'll
be.
get there. Yeah.
We're on the way.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I never thought it would take that long. We'd be doing this for this long, so I didn't worry about uploading the recordings. But we're doing it now. So
And I think we can Zoom until 2024, if I read that correctly.
okay. I don't see that.
I, for one, would prefer to Zoom. And I know, Peter, I think you feel very differently.
But at this point, I think it's important to Zoom too.
I do and I don't. I think what you just read, what they kind of the how shall I put it, the process that they want us to do, it doesn't make sense to me. I think
No.
some people could be, if some people could be on Zoom and some people could be together, that's the way it is. But to have someone come into your house because you're on Zoom, I don't understand. I don't think that makes sense.
Well, the
That
other
only-
thing too is the reason you're on Zoom is because you don't want to expose yourself to the outside environment as much as possible, but yet you're going to let people come into your home.
That's
Well,
right.
I don't think they have that requirement. I'm not sure if they do anymore.
Yeah, I think they do.
A memo from Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. It's probably that
But-
lawyer, Stephanie, that has.
But you
that.
know, the reality is, even if you did that, the reality is that probably no one's coming to your home. And the fact is, somebody could still be at home and just put it out there once, and you could have it that's the way it is, and then you can do it from home, Marty.
Well, I mean, yeah. My position is if we're not going to do it Zoom, then I'm going to step down from the board. But you guys need to make the decision. I only have 1 year left, so I'm sort of a dead duck to begin with.
But a
I
smart
think-
one.
I think we should continue to Zoom for this year and then take a look at it after that.
I think, I agree.
Do we need a motion for that?
Sure.
I'll put forth a motion that we Zoom for the, for our library meetings until the end of the year. And at the end of the year, we will, in January or December, take another look and see if it's time for us to start in person.
I'll second that motion. It's Marty.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Abstentions? Okay, good. The next new business, Angela, can you scan up the agenda?
Yep. Mhm.
Whoa. Okay, new business, temporary appointment of board members for 2022-23. Connie, Deb, Jan, Elizabeth, and Steve.
So this is Marty. I'll move that we temporarily appoint Connie, Deb, Jan, Elizabeth, and Steve as board members for the 2022 to 2023 fiscal year.
This
I
is
second
Kristen.
that.
I'll second.
Diane. Okay.
Who seconded it?
Diane?
Any discussion?
I just wanted to say that this is the last year we can do that. We definitely have to do the election next year. I told Brian that we would. They were asking about us at the state, what we were doing. So I want to, you know, return to having our yearly vote next year. So we're in, back in their good graces, I guess. Brian wasn't worried or anything. It's not, it's just like they noticed, so.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, extensions. All right, let's go to the next new business, 8.6 patron photography and filming policy.
So I talked with Kristen about this. She was wondering if we should mention social media. And between Alex and Sarah and I, we didn't think it was necessary because we're saying you can't, excuse me, we're saying we don't want you to film without permission from the people around you who could be in the film. The reason being is we can't enforce it with the kids. We don't even know they're doing it. So we can only enforce it if we know. And we don't even, let's say there's a group of kids and they're doing it amongst themselves. We can't control whether they put it on social media or not. We can only ask them, is everybody in agreement to be filmed? Because that's what they do. Alex was very eloquent about it in our comments about it.
So what are we gonna do?
Well, Kristen was just wondering if we should mention that we didn't want any social media in the policy. And Alex says, if we have a policy in place that prevents filming and photography without consent of the people in the area or the permission of the library staff, it is not necessary to specify that material can't be posted on social media. If permission has been granted to film or photograph by the library and the people likely to be captured, though, I don't think we can specify what can and can't be done with the media. We can't. You know, it's can't control that. That's what we were thinking. But if people are filming and we tell them to stop, then that's what's more important to me, actually, because of these people that come into public places and film without people's consent. And they say they're doing a First Amendment audit or some such thing. And they've been doing it they have done it in libraries. They're mostly doing it, I'd say, with law enforcement. But the law enforcement can't even not allow them, they can't tell them not to post it. And that's what we were thinking.
So is there any kind of change we have to make, or we're just gonna leave it the way it is?
Has this always been part of our policy?
No, we're adding it because of this new issue with the audits, the First Amendment audits. It means like somebody could come in if they're mad at us about something and film the interaction, and we can't tell them not to, but we can because we're the limited public forum, and we can say you're not supposed to do that in here. You can't film people without their consent, including the staff.
So we can't vote on it tonight, right? It needs to
No,
be next meeting.
This is the first
Right.
time it's being presented. Yeah.
Kristen, does that address your issue?
After I had talked to Angela, I guess it made me understand it better. I do understand the need to not allow people to come in and just film the staff. I actually thought originally it was talking about not filming people that are in the library, using the library, especially kids who all have a cell phone. But now I understand it was actually something different than I was originally thinking. But I think it would cover both, where, they can't film the library staff and they can't film anybody that's using the library without consent. Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
So if somebody came in and they were intending to do this as some kind of a research project, let's say, are we prepared to say to them, if you photograph anyone, here's a consent form you have to use before you photograph them? I mean, that's the concern I have with
We
the
used to
notion
have the
that,
consent form for
Yeah.
that. If we were photographing people, we used to have that, and now we just don't photograph them. So I don't really want to hand out a consent form that would be for us, not for other people.
I know, but if you have somebody there who's doing it, and what are you going to do when you walk up and say you needed to get consent?
Right,
I mean-
then they have to stop, and if they don't stop, they have to leave, and if they won't leave, when we ask them, then I'll have to call the police because they're trespassing. So,
Well, that seems pretty confrontational to
well,
me.
that's how we do it. People listen to us. I've never had since I've been here, I maybe once I've had to call the police, and when we do have to, actually Sarah had to call the police the other day because it's mostly with angry teenagers
Right.
that are having other issues, and that's why she had to. A kid was really had a lot of issues the other day, and she called the police to be here till he calmed down, and yeah, so.
So we're gonna vote on this next month?
Yeah.
Okay. There's one more item, right?
Yeah, I talked with Kristen about that too. She was thinking we should have a sign that people could unplug other people's cars if the charger said it was done. It says charging complete on it. I mean, has that happened to you a lot, Kristen? I know if you're saying it's mostly one guy, well, I know that's Phil, the vets guy, and I can talk to him.
Yeah, it was happening on a daily basis. when
Yeah,
was
I
playing
mean, I'll
charger
talk to him.
experience. I think that it becomes a bigger issue. There's very few chargers in the county, especially in Penn. And there's more and more electric cars that need to be charged. And it seemed like, this seemed to be that time of day. There was people whose cars were charged and they were just leaving them plugged in, even though it still charges them money. They just leave them plugged in.
In
I don't
Geneva,
know. I kind of think, it does say something like you can only have it plugged in while your car is actually charging, but I think, I don't know if we're going to resolve this tonight, but I think that there needs to be either more chargers or kind of something. I don't know what the proper etiquette would be to imply that if you choose to leave your vehicle plugged in after being fully charged and there's a shortage of them available, that it's kind of understood that someone else is going to unplug it, plug it back into the charge point, and then, put it in their car.
I don't really want to make that a rule with a sign. I think people should decide that on their own, and I don't want to know about it.
Yeah, and I understand,
Yeah.
what you're saying too. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know how to politically correctly address that situation. But I think it's just kind of a wait and see. I think that it's going to occur more as we get more electric cars around, and not enough places to charge them. And maybe a better solution would be just looking at how do we get more chargers.
Right. And I only know what I know right now. And as I reported to you guys, the county's not going to do it. I don't know what's going on in the village. I have to talk to somebody. I only heard a county person poo-pooing it for the village too. And I was like, oh man, I do want to add more chargers. And I know that I can lead that because it's something that the state does pay for. And it would, like Kristen said, we come out even, it wouldn't cost us anything. It's just a matter of me figuring out how to do it. And I'm going to work on that.
well, and it's also, is that really within the mission of the library?
Right.
Which
Like
is-
if I'm going to do it, it can't be all consuming, for me to get it done. So, but if it's not a
Well,
big
the other
deal and
thing-
it's, then I can do it.
But doesn't it seem to you like the library has really done a service by having one?
Yeah.
I agree.
There are churches, there are schools, there
Yes.
are so many public places people go. Why isn't someone else stepping up to
I
do
know,
it?
and I know it's part of the village plan. I have to talk to somebody and find out what's going on with it. It might not be an issue at all. It might be, oh yeah, they got this planned or whatever. So we got to wait and see. Like
And-
Kristen
And maybe
said.
they can let us know too. Maybe they.
Yeah.
may
Oh
wanna
yeah, I
come
will.
and
I'll
talk.
tell you guys what I find out.
So in Geneva, they just put a public charging one in, and there's a sign that says you can only be parked in the spot by the charger while your car is charging.
That's
But
great.
it's in a municipal lot, which is policed by the police. Ours is a private lot.
Right.
So
Right.
we cannot go that route.
Right. They're not going to come and ticket for
Right.
us. I mean, we can put up the tow sign, but we don't have to. So. Yeah.
Any
So
other
we
questions?
will watch and see, and if it's not too difficult, I wouldn't mind arranging to have another one put in. But when I go on the NYSERDA website and it's like, it's no big deal and all that, it is a big deal. There's using language I don't understand. So,
And it takes up parking slots too. That's the problem. That's
And
what the
when there's
county
more-
had the problem with. They
Well,
don't
and
want to give
no,
up.
that wasn't the problem. The problem was they would have had to rip out sidewalk to put in the electric line. That was the problem. And it was just easier to do it
I
from the
was
back
at-
building to our lot.
I was at those meetings. And
Oh,
believe
really?
me, yes, I was at those meetings when they
Okay, so they did
discussed.
discuss the parking spots.
Oh,
Okay.
yes, it was a
All
real
right.
big.
All
So
right.
before we close out this meeting, I'd like to give a big shout out to Diane because this is her
Okay.
last meeting.
Thanks.
Thank you
Oh,
so much,
Thank
Diane.
you for your
You're welcome.
service.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Thanks. It's been a great opportunity for me and good to know all of you.
It's good to know you. Thanks for all your work.
Now we're gonna
Thanks.
miss you.
We will miss you.
Thanks.
You have a good transition.
Yes, you do. Nice people.
Love ya.
Thanks.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Oh, this is Marty. I'll make the motion to adjourn.
All in favor, second?
Any second.
Valerie, I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Angela, I'll see you tomorrow. to
Thank
sign
you.
checks.
Good
Thanks.
night.
I will be in tomorrow, yes.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. That'd be great.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.